Well, let's turn to the situation in India, which is the world's second largest importer, producer and consumer of coal. The country has been facing a looming power crisis as coal stocks are running extremely low in the country. And that's alarming as 70% of the electricity in India is generated using coal. The government has plans to open many new power mines to increase production, but in some areas that has sparked huge protests. Hundreds of tribal villages have been rallying in Chhattisgarh to oppose a new coal mine. They've taken out a 300-kilometre march to protect the Hasdeo Arand forest. Live to Delhi now, the BBC's Nitin Srivastava joins us from there. Nitin, why is there a power shortage in the country?
Well, to start with, the numerous power plants in the country did not have enough coal storage. And that is one of the biggest reasons. Many states have had to shut down temporarily the thermal power plants. And as we know, coal produces heat, which produces thermal energy in India, and 70% of it is completely reliant on coal. That is one of the reasons. The other reasons experts believe is that India is now re-emerging after two successive COVID lockdowns. Workplaces are opening up, life is moving back to normal. So the demand for electricity obviously is going up. And the other thing is that experts believe that the thermal plants actually were not prepared for such a sudden surge in electricity demand. And of course, the government has been saying that it is mostly because of excessive rains and the high prices of international coal. But all these factors sort of add up, and the situation has been really alarming and serious.
Given the pressure on India and China to wean itself off coal, Nitin, is there still this target by the government to increase production to 1 billion tonnes a year?
That's true. There has been plans, and the Indian government, in fact, has been talking about decreasing reliance on importing coal from outside. In fact, a few years ago, a senior government minister said that import of coal has to come down because India has 300 billion tons of coal reserves. So, and because it is expensive to import coal, and that also adds to the price rise. That is one of the reasons that the government is also planning now to increase coal production in the existing coal mines and also looking for newer mines.
So, Nitin, what are India's climate goals?
Well, India's climate goals have the government says that they really want to reduce the emissions. They really want to help achieve the climate change targets. But I have some facts which suggest that India's total installed solar power capacity will need to increase to 5,630 gigawatts by 2070. Now, at present, only 100 gigawatts of installed renewable energy is being produced in the country. And definitely it's much behind the targets and the need.
And Nitin, there's pressure as well from these indigenous communities who have been protesting these new coal mines. Tell us about those protests.
That's true. There have been many protests in states. The indigenous communities and people say that because the mining is set to go up, enhanced coal production will also lead to a lot of deforestation, ecological disturbance, and they will have to move to newer places without any employment guarantee, and they will have to be sort of they say they'll become like nomads, and that is the reason many communities, especially tribal communities, have been protesting in what they say is that it's an attack on their lungs because the forests will go.
Nitin, thanks for joining us from Delhi.